On Wake Up Nigeria this morning, and with me is Ladi Wada, a production coordinator at Basement Animation Studios. She's also a member of Afro Women in Animation, AWA, a community dedicated to supporting and empowering African women in the animation industry through mentorship and networking. Now, Ladi is passionate about fostering opportunities for African talent to thrive in animation. She's here to discuss the impact of the female gender in the Nigerian animation space. And it's such a pleasure to have you in the studio with us.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
So when people talk about animations, graphics, there are actually a number of women in that space. But the first gender that comes to mind, if anybody is thinking gender, is male.
Yes.
And so for women in the animation space, how has it been like?
Okay. Firstly, I think it's been good, but you know, like you said, the first thing you think of is men in that space. So there are really no much women, you know, functioning as leaders in the animation space. Most of them are still budding, probably animators, and they're very few. So it's just like an industry where you have a large percentage of guys and a smaller chunk of women in the industry. So it's not really balanced, to say like that.
So what are the challenges women face? Is there a reason there aren't so many female animators?
Yeah, so in my opinion, I think there's a bias, so to say, you know, because firstly, when you think animation, you think, oh, okay, there's no space for me as a woman in this industry. So there's already that mindset that women have that, oh, I cannot function in this industry, you know. So that alone is one of the reasons why we don't have a lot of women functioning in the industry, you know. But recently, we have communities that are encouraging women, showing them the kind of opportunities that are available for them in the industry, and they are coming up. So it's still a challenge, but it's something that we're also actively trying to fix.
What's responsible for that mindset, though?
I think it's probably culture. Anything tech related, you know, you don't find a lot of women wanting to be there. Just recently with exposure, internet, you know, that you now have women coming to know that, oh, okay, I can actually do this, you know, even though I'm a woman, you know. So most people, and then also in the industry, the guys also have this mindset that, okay, there's no space for you here. You know, it's kind of, I will not say competition per se, but it's there. You get this air around them that, okay, they don't even want to help you when you have issues, you know. They don't want to put you through. No. Yes, they don't want to put you through, you know, because they feel like you even have no space here in the first place. So there's that.
Now, there's a woman watching who has always been interested in the tech space, but doesn't want to do the programming thingy and all. And then we're talking about animation, and she's like, boom, that must be it. What does it take to be in that space?
Okay, thank you very much. So yes, for the woman watching and wondering, okay, is there a place I can function? Yes, there. So it doesn't have to be the traditional animation. There are other roles that you can play to function in the industry, you know. Like if you have an animation studio, for instance, there are other things that would need to be done, like maybe script writing, there's voicing, there's storyboarding. So no matter the kind of talent that you have, I feel that there's a space for you in the animation industry. Even we have people that do web development, you know, people that do different things, there are different roles that a woman can, you know, take on in the industry. So it's not just limited to traditional animation.
Now, there's another thing many women find challenging. Holding down jobs is, you know, it's already very difficult. Yeah. And then managing the family as well. And more women are embracing remote jobs and all. How practical is it to work remotely as an animator?
Yeah, I think it's very practical. It's you know, from 2020 with the COVID and all, there were some studios that were working. My studio, for instance, Basement Animation Studio, where I work, we worked remotely throughout that period, and we're still able to execute the projects that we had. Yeah, so it's quite doable. You can work as long as you have the equipment and you have good internet, you know how to communicate with your other colleagues, you know, because for animation, it's actually teamwork, 100% teamwork.
That's why I asked, because
Yes.
I've actually seen animators at work, and usually it's more like you're in a board meeting.
Yes,
you have
it's
to
teamwork.
run ideas. So that's what I was wondering. The remote angle of it, how practical and possible is it?
It's very possible. There are softwares that's even, like the one we adopt in our space, you know, you can make comments, you can see each other's work on it. So it's very doable. It's very doable. You don't have to necessarily, because as a woman, probably maybe marriage, childbirth can limit you. So those limitations are there, but you can also do what you want to do remotely. So there's space for you.
Remuneration-wise, though, has it been good?
Yes.
Okay, that was an emphatic yes.
Yes, I would say it's been an awesome experience, you know, because when I came into the industry like 5 years ago, I was very new, you know, and I did not know what I was going to do. I came in as a social media manager, but over the years I've been able to learn from other departments. I've been able to gain experience, and right now I function as a production coordinator, you know, so it's been a good experience.
What's the production coordinator about?
Oh, okay, so what I do basically, as the term says, is coordinate projects and production. So when we have a production, we have a project that we have to execute, you know, from script to storyboarding to the animation to the final cuts to all the stages. I'm always involved in the planning and scheduling of the project. So once we get a project, my role is to, okay, I see the script, I say, okay, this is how long it's going to take for us to produce. These are the people that we'll need. These are the team members that would need to work on this particular project, because every project is unique.
Unique, yeah.
So when we get a script, you know, we dissect it, and I walk around with the budget of the client, you know, share it amongst the team members, and we execute. So that, and I'm also involved in the day-to-day tracking to make sure that, okay, we are hitting our deadline that the client gives to us. So
I'm very curious, how many females are in your organization?
Okay, in our organization is actually equal, 50-50. We have about, if I'm not mistaken, I think we have about 15 ladies right now.
And 15 guys.
And 15 guys.
That's interesting.
Yes.
What a coincidence.
Yes.
So you are in a workspace in which you have just as many women.
Women as much as guys.
As
yes.
men.
Yes.
Okay.
It wasn't like that in the beginning, because I think when I started, we were just like 4 ladies in the studio. But with time, you know, more people started coming, because we too were also very passionate about, you know, bringing in more women in the industry. Because truth of the matter is, there's a unique touch that women bring to the table, you know, especially for projects. Like when I'm dissecting a script, I like working with other ladies. Like there's just this, it's not like I'm being biased for the guys, but there's just this unique feminine touch, yes, that they bring to the project. And I'm okay, yeah, I see your point, you know, different ideas, and it's usually very pleasant.
So what roles do those women play? Okay,
so I have a colleague that also plays my role. She's also a production coordinator, yeah, but she does more of the sound parts for the studio, because we also have a studio. Okay. We have someone that does video editing. Okay. We have 2 actually doing video editing. We have someone that functions in the IT and tech role. We have a number of women in the story development and script writing role. Yeah, so there are a lot of people to work with. And then we also have some people that also do the animation itself. Yeah. Okay. In studio.
Females,
yes,
right?
Females.
You know, when people talk about the animation industry in Nigeria in particular, many people think, oh, it's still in quotes a growing industry, emerging industry. It's still quite little. It's not worth reckoning with, which is true to an extent. But then when you listen to folks like you, when you come on the show, you talk about what you've been doing, and for years, you realize it's not as basic as many people think. So until a music video that had to do with animation, I'll just go ahead and say Joe Boy's Baby. People didn't really think of the animation industry as all that in Nigeria. Yes, we had the Ajebo in the video back then. That puts more for me. Press Sam. And then, of course, we had Weird MC's Ijoya video as well. Yet, many Nigerians still think animation is new to Nigeria. And I find that really interesting. What do you think is responsible for this?
Well, the industry is actually still budding, in my own opinion. It's just that recently there has been a number of studios springing up and people are getting more aware, you know, because of communities that have been pushing this agenda that, okay, there's this industry that exists, it's working, it can be as big as the music industry, it can be as big as Nollywood, if, you know, we all come together to like make this work, make this happen. So I feel like the reason why a lot of people are still not aware that, okay, animation can be done in Nigeria is because of exposure. Basically, you know, people still look down on things that are made in Nigeria. When I tell people that, okay, I work in an animation, so they'll be like, ah, something like that exists in Lagos. I'm like, yes, they are quite, I can name on my 10 fingers some animation studios that have been in existence for 10, 15 years, you know.
And then you watch cartoons as well on YouTube. There are actually more and more Nigerian cartoons. There's one I particularly like to hear. There's a song they like, my name is Ifama, I am from Enugu.
Okay, yes,
that, you know,
Igbo,
and then my name is
Igbo.
Bisola, I'm from Lagos. And then there's actually different ones. The one that teaches Igbo, there's the one that tells stories and so many things. All people have to do is go on YouTube and find. But is YouTube the only way you put your products out? No.
So for YouTube, it's kind of like a very easy and fast way to reach your audience. You know, is another means of distributing your content. But there are other ways, like we can distribute to TV stations. You can pay for airtime, you know, and get them to air your content at that particular time that you want it. And then you also have people that actually buy the whole content, you know, and then do whatever they want with it. They can distribute it internationally, you know, send it to, put it up on streaming platforms for them to watch, for people to watch, and yeah,
Ladi,
so it's not just YouTube.
It's been quite an interesting conversation, an eye-opener as well, especially for people who do not know about the opportunities in the animation industry in Nigeria. Thank you so much for your time, Ladi Wada. Thank you. All right, at this point, we've reached the top of the hour on Wake Up Nigeria. We still have 45 minutes on the other side. Stay with us, we'll be right back.